Jack arrived before the store. It was named Alfix Grocery Store. This was the store that he'd just bought over to start his life here in the city. He had spent more than half of his years of savings to buy it alongside the groceries inside. He wasn't going to change the name, as the store that he was opening was only temporary. If things go well, he would absolutely find a better location. He could see that it was a decent one. Furthermore, the location of the store wasn't bad too, as he could see that it wasn't hidden in some corner. Around the store, there were some other stores that were already open as it was already afternoon. But, the business at this time wasn't that good as the traffic was mainly in the morning and evening. Jack took out the keys that he'd received from the agency and opened the grocery store. As he entered, he found that the store was tidy. There was a counter where he would be operating the store closer to the door. It was located at the right side of the door. Then, he could see that there were rows of shelves and fridges that were holding the stock that he was supposed to sell. After confirming that everything was okay, he sat at the counter. He wanted to start working immediately. After all, he couldn't afford lazing around when there were some people who thought so lowly of him. Since it was still afternoon, there were no customers at all. Furthermore, Jack decided not to add stock at all and retained everything that was present there. He would see the way that the business goes before he can add more stock. Currently, most of the things that he was selling were those that didn't need to be fresh. They were things like packed milk, noodles, and so on. These things had a shelf life, and Jack had confirmed that they had not expired. As for the prices, there was no need for him to worry at all. The prices were written on the shelves. Furthermore, this store could be considered a mini-mart. If he wanted to efficiently operate it, he would need to have at least 2 people to assist him. But, that would have to wait for later. Currently, he was reading the log book of the store. It seems that the previous owner of the store was in such a hurry that he left the records of the sales. From how he was seeing, the business wasn't that bad at all. So, he read the records as he familiarized himself with the store's sales and purchases. It was around 5 in the evening that the first customer came in. It was a man who seemed to be in his mid-30s. It was rare to find men going to a grocery store, but Jack didn't find it bizarre as he was a man and was operating it. He stood up and welcomed the man. "Hello, how may I help you?" "I'd like some groceries. I'm going to work and I can't be coming to the grocery every day. So, I want those that can last a good period of time," the man replied. Jack showed him into the store and the man began picking some groceries. He picked rice, flour, sugar, and several other things. Of course, the purchase wasn't in bulk, but for a person living alone, they could last him at least a week. "Why don't you have vegetables?" The man frowned after seeing that there were no vegetables in the store. Jack knew that this was going to happen. So, he calmly explained, the store was closed for 2 days, and if they would have brought the vegetables, they wouldn't have been fresh. So, the vegetables would be coming in tomorrow. The man nodded as he found this reasonable. Nobody wanted groceries that weren't fresh if there was another place that they could get those that were fresh. The man came to the counter to pay. After calculating, he found that the bill was $300. This wasn't that much due to the low quality of the products that could be found in this kind of street. After all, one had to know that this was the poorest street in the entire city. So, it was obvious that the products being sold here would match the residents in terms of price. If he brought things that cost thousands per kg, then it was obvious that people wouldn't buy them, or those who would be buying them would be counted by a single hand. After all, the depths of the pockets talked about what a person would eat. The man touched his pockets, but after a while, he found that there was no wallet there. So, he looked at Jack with a sorry expression as he said, "It seems that I was in so much hurry that I forgot my wallet. Can I do transfer?" Jack nodded. There was no problem at all as long as the payment was done. So, he gave his account number and the man sent the money before leaving immediately. It seemed that he was in a hurry to do something. As soon as the bank confirmation message arrived, Jack heard a robotic voice in his head. "Ding! Congratulations on activating the 100 Times Income Multiplier. Ding! You've earned $300. Multiplier applied. You've received $30,000. Ding! First income. As a reward, you gain a Suzuki GSX-R1000. The voice rang 3 times and that it made Jack feel like he was hallucinating. But the fact was that he has never taken any drug, so he felt that there was no way that he could be hallucinating. 100 Times Income Multiplier? What's this? Jack asked himself. Before he could think further, the phone in his hand vibrated. Upon looking at the screen, Jack was dumbfounded. Flyer's bank account received $30,000. New balance is $278,861. That message confirmed the second message about his income being multiplied by 100 times. Now, what was all this about? Ding! You are the lucky host of the Blue Planet. You've been selected by the 100 Times Income Multiplier system. With this system, as long as you earn any income by the rightful means, then it will be multiplied by 100 times. Ding! There are things that will be multiplied by 100 in terms of quality and others would be multiplied in terms of quantity. The robotic voice echoed in his head as the explanation about what was happening immediately got explained to him. Jack wasn't sure if he was dreaming or hallucinating, maybe both? He pinched his arm and felt the pain. This meant that all of this was real. Furthermore, the bank message confirmed that he had indeed received $30,000 in his account after the transaction was done. After taking a moment to cool himself down, Jack sat on the chair behind the counter and asked in his mind, "Can you tell me more about the system?" Ding! I am your guide, Angel. I will help you with matters concerning the system. So, for the question that you've just asked, the system is something supernatural that's out of the Blue Planet. Of course, you're not qualified to know about the origins of the system. Ding! The system's main function is to make sure that people don't get lazy. You will be an example. By working hard, your rewards will be great. So, the system will reward you for your hard work by multiplying the income that you receive from working hard by 100 times. Ding! Of course, there's a limitation. Anything that's not earned by working cannot be multiplied. So, don't you think of cheating? Jack thought for a moment and couldn't help but get excited. This was beyond his imaginations. But, he could only thank his lucky stars in that, among the billions of people in the Blue Planet, the system had chosen him. Then, he thought of something. Is there any other person in the planet that has a system? Ding! Negative. There's nobody else with a system in the Blue Planet as it is a unique. There are no copies. Jack, for some reason, let out a sigh of relief. Then, he couldn't help but get excited. As long as he could work hard and expand his business, then he would really get something bigger. This was something that he was really looking forward to. Ding! There's another program. The reward system. Your first income in each and every business branch will make you receive a reward from the system. Ding! There's another reward, that is, monthly reward, semi-annual reward, yearly reward, decade reward, century reward, millennium reward, and so on. Jack's mouth was forced to stay wide open after hearing the system's words. He could understand the first reward, monthly, and even a decade reward. But what the hell with this century and millennium rewards? Did the system want him to work hard for a whole century? No, scratch that, a millennium? That's 1,000 years we're talking about here. Not talking about a person who's dedicated for 100 years of working, it was a question whether that person would be able to live that long. And what's more, according to the current calendar, it had only been 2 millenniums since the first time that they started counting. Now, just how many generations had gone by in the 2 millenniums? Jack calmed himself down and asked, how on earth am I supposed to live for a millennium? Ding! With the system, as long as the host works hard, nothing is impossible. You mean that I can become an immortal? Be able to fly? He couldn't help but start imagining. Ding! That's right. And the system confirmed this. Jack wanted to jump off his seat and run around shouting about his luck. But he still managed to calm himself down. "By the way, where's my reward for the first income?" Jack asked.
"Ding!
The key is inside the drawer of the counter. The motorcycle is parked outside the store." Jack opened the drawer and found the key. It seemed that the system was right. But how on earth did the key get inside the drawer? Well, not like it matters. He'll just receive the reward. He was just about to go out of the store and take a look at the motorcycle when a person entered the store. It was a lady in her early 20s. "Hello, I need some groceries," she said as soon as she saw Jack behind the counter. Since he was having a customer, then he would surely make sure to operate the store first before checking out the bike.